Colorado. It's a massive matchup tonight in the USL Championship as Colorado Springs Switchbacks play host to their border rivals, New Mexico United. Sean St. Jacques, Manchester United legend Gary Bailey here with you for this one tonight. It's two of the top 5 teams right now, Gary, in the West. And of course, with a derby bragging rights at stake, it makes it a little bit more spicy.
Oh, this is an important match, especially for Colorado Springs. They're at home. They're the home side. They've got a great home record. And it's a derby match that when you're at home, you have to win it. Too much pride on the line.
Switchbacks have won 3 straight against New Mexico at home in the derby and are 5th place in the West coming into tonight's table. But New Mexico trying to push the likes of Louisville and Charleston for the Players' Shield. They currently have a very comfortable cushion at the very top of the Western Conference standings and are hoping to close in on clinching not just a playoff spot, but a home playoff game as well, which they've never done in their USL Championship history. Last time out for the Switchbacks, some late drama at Highmark saw them pull out a late point against Bob Lilly's Riverhounds.
Yeah, in the dying moments of the match, this was the earlier goal, but they managed to come back. This was Pittsburgh going into the lead. The 91st minute, I thought it was. 96th minute, Pierre Delens at the far post gets a valuable equalizer. Literally was the final kick of the match.
Huge point for the Switchbacks in what has been an unbelievably tight race in the Western Conference, and James Chambers is hoping that they can carry that in to tonight's proceedings. And one player that can help is our player to watch, presented by Modelo. Tyreek McGee's been in strong form. Yeah,
he got the opening goal against Pittsburgh to put his team 1-0 up. Got a goal 2 matches before that against Phoenix. So 2 goals in the last 3 means he's a player on form, and those are the players you normally turn to when you want to win big matches and derby matches in particular.
Speaking of in form, you look at Eric Quill's side for New Mexico United, and Jacobo Reyes has scored 2 in his last 2 matches.
Yeah, 2 goals and an assist in the match. Before that, he scored against Monterey Bay, FC Tulsa, and an assist for Greg Hurst against Indy 11. So again, a player they're going to have to keep an eye on, Colorado Springs. But to be fair, I think there's a number of players in this New Mexico team who are in great form at the moment.
This game checks off all the boxes as you want in the USL Championship at this point in the season. 2 of the top teams, a derby match with a ton of bragging rights on the line, and postseason implications galore as the Switchbacks once again meet their border rivals in New Mexico United. The kickoff from a packed Widener Field is coming up next.
Injured in a crash? Get McDivitt and you get a firm dedicated to every single detail of your case.
We have the knowledge and resources to investigate the crash and your insurance company's small print.
Details matter. That's why we dive deep into every aspect of your case. This gives us the firepower we need to make the insurance company pay you the money you deserve.
We never ask you to pay a penny until we get you max money for your injuries.
Online at McDivittLaw.com.
McDivitt.
Natural gas ensures that when you need to heat things up, you can, but it can also be hazardous. That's why, in the event of a natural gas leak, you need to know the 3 S's. The first one, sound. Listen for the sound of hissing or whistling. Number 2, sight. Look for dead or discolored vegetation in an otherwise green area. And number 3, smell. It's hard to miss. Be on the lookout for a pungent odor like rotten eggs. If you notice any of these signs, leave the area immediately and call 911. For more information, go to csu.org.
The moment you call McDivitt, an action plan is put into place right away to get you the help you need.
Each case and each client is different, with different needs and solutions. Your attorney and team immediately investigates every aspect of your crash and injuries.
We track down all the paperwork and deal directly with the insurance company for you.
We keep you in the loop every step of the way, fighting to get you max money for your injuries.
And you never pay us a dime until we get money for you.
McDivitt.
Colorado Springs Utilities serves electric, gas, water, and wastewater. If you combine all 4 services, you're paying around 11% less than anybody else on the Front Range. Water is the only one of our 4 services where you pay more. Since we have no river systems of our own, more than 70% of our water comes from Colorado's West Slope. Colorado Springs Utilities has delivered all 4 of these services safely, reliably, and at the best value to you for the last 100 years, and we will continue to do that long into the future.
Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey back here with you. Today's player walkout is sponsored by Children's Hospital Colorado. About to see the Switchbacks tangle with their rivals New Mexico United on a huge night in the USL Championship here on ESPN+. Let's jump into the starting lineups for both teams. They're brought to you by Phil Long. And Gary, we begin with a couple of changes for James Chambers and the hosts.
Yeah, 2 changes from the team that drew at Pittsburgh. Jonas Fjellberg is in, and so too Zach Zandy. To the bench go Duke Lacroix and Aidan Rocha. In that sort of 4-2-3-1 or 4-5-1 if you want. It's a packed midfield, but some good width with McGee and Fjellberg.
On the other side of things, Eric Quill for New Mexico just signed a 2-year contract extension. He celebrates by putting out this 11 for United.
2 changes there as well. Taylor Maples comes in, as does Abdi Mohammed, both in defense. And to the bench go Arturo Astorga and Will Seymour. No sign of Harry Schwartz, who's been in great form recently with some valuable goals, but they have so much other talent on the bench, including Greg Hurst. And that's how the league leaders in the West look today.
It really is a massive game in the Western Conference. 2 of the top 5 teams, New Mexico, trying to push for a Players' Shield victory towards the end of the season here. They're leading the Western Conference pretty comfortably at the moment. The Switchbacks come into the night in 5th. Not as comfortable because it's so tight in the West, but they're, of course, pushing for home playoff games as well once we get into October and November. Joshua Encarnacion is our center official. The Switchbacks are in light blue, and they will be kicking us off, going from left to right here at a jam-packed crowd at Widener Field. Off we go in the derby. Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey, our entire crew. Thrilled to have you with us. It's arguably the game of the weekend in the USL Championship. And Jonas Fjellberg takes the first shot inside of 13 seconds and welcomes us into the action.
Yeah, it was good that Alex Tambakis actually had his eye on the game, because he could easily have been just sort of tying his bootlaces or something, and gets him up and running straight away. The big goalkeeper there for New Mexico United. But a sign of intent from the home side. Love that in a derby. Just get straight into the opposition's face, and Daniel Bruce trying to do the same on the other side.
Matt Real is there for the Switchbacks, who have won 3 straight at Widener Field over New Mexico in the derby, but New Mexico's won the last 2 in these overall meetings. So we'll see what has to give tonight. James Chambers and the Switchbacks have only won 4 times against New Mexico in the head-to-head. United have 10 victories in the prior 15 meetings in the regular season. And that is going to be a foul. It's going to be a free kick for the Switchbacks in their own end. Speedy Williams able to alleviate the pressure.
Yeah, I'm assuming Speedy Williams will do his normal, sitting deep in the midfield for Colorado Springs. Might be joined by Zach Zandy at times, because they've got so much going forward with Jonas Fjellberg, Juan Tejada, Tariq McGee, all trying to feed Ronaldo Damas up front. So some defensive duty probably needed by Zach Zandy to help Speedy Williams out.
Physical challenge there. Referee spots it. It's another Colorado Springs free kick. That was Sergio Rivas conceding it. Taken quickly for Zach Zandy. Zandy wants it again. This time it's Fjellberg. Fjellberg assesses his options. It was poked away from behind. And a reset for Williams. Williams into the penalty area looking for Damas. It's going to be a free kick going the other direction. 1 or 2, well, at least views from the fans as far as a penalty, but the referee says it was handled by Ronaldo Damas. Chance to look at tonight's keys to the game, especially in a derby game. Gary, what are you looking out for?
Well, I think from the home side, control of the nerves in the derby match. They're also up against the league leaders. You're in front of your home fans. You want to do well. And they need the points as well to ensure that their position in the playoffs. So I think a lot of pressure there for the home side. And then for New Mexico, they haven't had a clean sheet in the last 8 games. They've conceded 14 goals in that time. Yes, they've scored a ton. They've had some great wins, but you can't keep relying on your goal scorers to bail you out. I think if they can get a clean sheet from Alex Tambakis here, then they have obviously a great chance of walking away with all 3 points.
Yeah, we were looking at goals and goals conceded. It's been a little bit of an issue for New Mexico. 31 goals conceded to this point in the campaign. We'll see if that can change at Widener Field tonight. Nice interplay down the far side. Akale able to get past the first challenge, and Mukwele Akale is able to continue moving on. It's into the middle, and he was trying to pick out Jacobo Reyes, who scored 2 in his last 2 appearances. Not quite able to do so, and then Fjellberg puts a little too much on that looped pass over the top.
Wow, these first 3 or 4 minutes, I think we've had a good look at why both these teams are doing well in the league, especially New Mexico. Their talent that both sides have in attack. And if they keep on like this, I think we're going to be in for a treat today, because so many wonderful players on the ball going forward. You've got to think there's going to be goals in this match. I'll be very surprised and a bit disappointed if it's a 0-0, because there's just fabulously talented attacking players on both sides.
Last time they met, Gary, June 22nd, beg your pardon, 1-0 to New Mexico. The Maples penalty in stoppage time, but that's been an outlier in this fixture. You look back at the recent history, and this fixture's average 2.93 goals per game in the regular season. So to your point, the stats back that up as well.
Yeah, and even in New Mexico United's last 3 matches, they've scored 3 goals in each of those games. A 3-2 win over Monterrey, 3-3 draw FC Tulsa, 3-1 win away at Indy 11. So they've been banging in the goals left, right, and center. So you can't see a 0-0, but you never know in this game.
As you well know, Gary, derby games, you just never quite know what you're going to get. You tend to throw the stats out sometimes.
We're just looking at Colorado, 2 away at Pittsburgh, 1 away at North Carolina, 2 in the 2-0 home win against Phoenix. So they've been banging in the goals as well. As I say, 2 lovely positive teams. Credit to both coaches, James Chambers and Eric Quill.
Here's Bruce spreading the love out to the far side. There was a chance to cross that into the middle. It's laid off. Chris Gloucester surveys the scene. It's all the way back for Kalen Ryden, who captains United this evening. Just his 9th appearance of the season. Oh, a swing and a miss on the far side, and New Mexico keep it in possession. Akale played it centrally for Zico Bailey. Micheleto has been crucial to New Mexico's success. And it's refreshed for Ryden. Here is Maples for Bailey. Mukwele Akale going at Jonas Fjellberg. Akale, clever ball into the middle, the shot away! Wasn't far away from Herrera's goal. Quick little turn and shot from Abdi Mohammed, but it goes out of play.
Yeah, good play from New Mexico United. A snapshot, and I tell you, he's got some power in it. It's gone wide because you can see Christian Herrera doesn't move, doesn't try to get to the ball. So it was well wide, but the build-up, the control of the ball across the middle, the switching from side to side, and then at least getting that effort there to Abdi Mohammed. Very impressive from the league leaders in the West.
Injury report is brought to you by Common Spirit Health. As far as we know, no major injuries for either side. Oh, but Herrera's misjudged this, and New Mexico have scored! Mukwele Akale breaks the deadlock in the 8th minute. New Mexico have the lead in Colorado Springs. It's a gift.
Well, that's come from pressure. There's the fans who have traveled a long way for this match, but that's come from pressure. Very impressive early on, New Mexico United. Look at this, forcing Colorado Springs to play back. Mahoney puts the ball in there. It's not a good ball. It puts his goalkeeper in all sorts of trouble, Mahoney. So is it his fault? Is it Christian Herrera's? Is it a combination of the two? Either way, Akale says, I don't care, I'm nipping in, and just from a very tight angle sticks that in the back of the net. That all comes from pressure and forcing Matt Mahoney to take a risk and play that ball in towards his goalkeeper, and they get a just reward already, New Mexico. Wow, what a game we have.
3rd goal of the season for Mukwele Akale. Talk about anticipation. And New Mexico put the Switchbacks right up against the wall inside of 8 minutes. Well, these two teams, Gary, are not pulling their punches in the derby.
Well, first things, we didn't think there'd be a 0-0, so at least we got past that hurdle. But again, the pressure forced Matt Mahoney, instead of playing down the line and going forward, the pressure sort of forced him back towards his goalkeeper. And then you have to give Akale credit for being there, putting the pressure on, waiting for a poor pass. It came, he pounced on it, and nothing, well, it seemed nothing Christian Herrera could do, because once he couldn't get to the ball, then Akale just skips past him and slots it into an empty net. So really good pressure early on from the visiting side.
Santos stood up, but Williams keeps it moving forward for Tyreek McGee. And then the referee's going to bring this back. A yellow card comes out for Marco Micheletto for his challenge earlier in the sequence. And my goodness, they almost go nose to nose. Micheletto pleading his case, the referee having none of it.
It was a little bit late. I'm not sure whether it's worthy of a yellow card. Have a look here. Well, actually, you know what? To be fair, it is quite late, and it was quite a lunge. And I think referee was going to play on and then come back, but decides right there and then to deliver the yellow card. It's one thing being late there, but you then swing your foot. You've got to be so careful these days with those lunging tackles, and that's a long way to go on a yellow card for Marco Micheletto.
And I think that's why Joshua Encarnacion didn't want to hear the explanation from Micheletto either. It was very late. 10 minutes gone at Widener Field. Speedy Williams get the ball back into play. Pierre was the hero at Highmark against Pittsburgh last time out. That late header that saved the Switchbacks a point.
Can I add a word? A very late header? Because it was a late header that put Pittsburgh 2-1 up in the 91st minute, I think it was.
Yes.
And that came in the 96th minute. But 2 goals conceded from set pieces, one from a corner, one from a free kick there by Switchbacks. And I think that's something they're going to want to put right in this match. And in fact, it was New Mexico also conceded from a corner and a free kick in their match against Monterrey.
Yeah, that was a 3-2 win for Eric Quill's side. Akale scored in that game as well, so that's 2-2 from Aquele Akale. Ryden and Reyes, the other 2 goal scorers along the way in a 3-2 win over the Seasiders. That ball's fluttered up ahead. Tejada, you can see where he was trying to push it towards Fjellberg, but it's well defended by Ryden, and then Tejada commits a foul.
Referee Joshua Encarnacion very, very quick to blow the whistle and get to Tejada, so nothing got out of hand. I think he knows the tensions and the emotions of a derby match, and I think for New Mexico now, they just want to calm it down a little bit, just quell the fire of Colorado Springs coming back at them, and this is exactly what they're doing here. Clever play to win that free kick and just to slow things down.
We're also keeping track of the other scores around the USL Championship tonight. 2 finals, they're both notable. Tulsa wins in Hamtramck over Detroit City 1-0. Hartford beats Louisville by 2 goals to 1 in Connecticut. That's a huge result, as Herrera is able to get there while Bruce was in a wrestling match trying to get to the ball. That's a huge result, by the way, because Hartford just closes in on that 8th and final playoff spot occupied by Rhode Island. So that's all now within just a couple of results at the bottom of the Eastern Conference table. And Louisville's historic run of games where they were smashing everybody is ended by Brendan Burke's side. That's a massive early upset tonight.
Yeah, and as is the win for FC Tulsa, it takes them into 7th place in the West, just 2 points behind the Switchbacks, and so that suddenly becomes a threat to the team in blue.
As this game just continues to get more and more physical in the early moments here. That's a New Mexico free kick that Zico Bailey puts quickly back into the field of play. But he's pressured and just gets it back to Ryden before Damas and McGee could make something of it. And Tempakis sends it upfield, but not very far.
Good pressure from the home side. It became difficult there for the defenders. They put the ball back to Tambakis. He was leaning backwards. Still should have possibly knocked it at least to the halfway line, but no damage. The ball has come back anyway, so gives New Mexico time just to settle themselves in defense.
Of course, the other big game tonight, also in the West, Oakland and Memphis. That kicks off at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time as another reckless challenge comes in. Tejada was brought down by Jacobo Reyes. Free kick for the Switchbacks.
Just a bit of a lift of a leg by Jacobo Reyes. I don't think there's anything nasty in it. Didn't see the player coming. Just there, but it has a level of danger. Probably lucky not to get a yellow card. Leg up against Tejada. I don't think Tejada's badly hurt, but that was very borderline yellow, so perhaps lucky to get away with that one, New Mexico.
Just another sign that it hasn't taken too long for the temperature to rise here in the derby. Good position as well, by the way, for the free kick. It's brought to you by Underline. A chance for a Switchbacks response. Fjellberg and McGee are the two to stand over this. 4 in the wall for New Mexico. It is Fjellberg right into the wall, recovered by McGee. McGee looks for the angle. His shot is blocked. Falls for Santos. Santos looking to the back stick. It's headed centrally. Mohammed is able to clear it away for New Mexico, only as far as a throw-in on the far side.
Good pressure from the home side. As we said, they conceded 2 from free kicks in their last match, whereas New Mexico scored, or set pieces rather, I should say. New Mexico scored from 2 set pieces, free kick in a corner. So looks like Colorado Springs want to turn that around. Rather than conceding, they want to be the ones scoring from set pieces, just recycling that ball nice and quickly, getting balls into the danger area. Nothing came of it this time, but you never know if they keep putting decent ball into the box, what might happen as this game goes on.
Especially now with the news that Malik Foster's been sent to Indy 11. Likes of Tyreek McGee and Jonas Fjellberg are going to become more and more important to James Chambers' attacking options.
Yeah, interesting that, because Malik Foster, the highest number of assists, second highest number of goals for Colorado.
Here is Santos. First time ball by Williams. Had the right idea, but too firm in the end for Fjellberg to get to.
Fans still remaining positive for Colorado Springs, but just on that point about Malik Foster, most number of assists, second highest number of goals scored, not the sort of player you'd want to let go. So was there unhappiness from Malik Foster? Was there some benefit, players coming the other direction? And at least they have Justin Dillon on the bench, a good signing recently from El Paso. So he's a player they can throw on to win games towards the end if they want to. Big, strong player up front, Justin Dillon.
Good pressure there from McGee. Won it back for a moment for Bailey and company, trying to pass their way up, but Zandy follows up before Mohammed clears. Yeah, James Chambers talked to us about how they've been eyeing Justin Dillon for quite some time. He said that El Paso came to them in search of a defender. They ended up giving Wahab Akwe back the other way to Locomotive in the deal to get Justin Dillon. And, well, Gary, we certainly heard James Chambers wax lyrically about how impressed he's always been with Justin Dillon. And, well, we'll see if we see him later on tonight.
I think there's a very good chance we will, even if it's just to replace some tired legs. This has been good by New Mexico, because you're 1-0 up away from home. You know the home side's going to come at you for a good 5 to 10 minutes, and they've weathered that storm. There was a couple of balls flashing around the box, but they've done well, New Mexico, and now they can just settle the game, try and hold on to the ball, build some possession phases, and why not start looking for a second?
Reyes up ahead. Was cut out nicely by Mahoney, helped along by Williams. McGee tries to free Fjellberg down the far side. Muhammad gets there. Damas stumbles. Fjellberg awaits for more support. Zandy for Williams. Good slicing ball from Mahoney, who stayed up there to help out. Santos arrives. Santos into the middle. Tried to find Damas, and it's out for a Switchbacks corner after a brave header from Kalen Ryden. And he might need some attention here.
Did well, Kalen Ryden at the near post to make sure he got on the end of that first, because Ronaldo Damas was just hovering. Lovely ball in. Coa Santos whips it in with pace. And there's that clash of heads, but defender doing well to get that. He scored the decisive goal in the last match against Monterey Bay. Scored the goal that put them 3-1 ahead. There was a late goal back from Monterey Bay, but Kalen Ryden, header from a corner, is what got them over the line at home in their last match.
That's an on-field injury, common spirit health. One that could be pretty serious here for New Mexico's captain. Again, he's been in and out of the lineup at times this season. Kalen Ryden has the captain's armband for a reason.
That was good to see him sitting up. Something about New Mexico, whether they're home or away, their expected goals has been higher than the opposition in all of their last 3 matches, as we see their great supporters who are there at Widener Field. There they go. Clapping and applauding. And yeah, they've had a higher expected goal. So they are a team that create a lot of opportunities. And again, that's great credit to Eric Quill and his coaching side, that they're not a team that hang on to leads. They keep creating opportunities. And obviously he's been rewarded, Eric Quill, with that 2-year extension to the end of next year, 2026.
And you just look at his impact since he took over June 13th, I should say, 2023. Since then, he's had the highest points per game in club history at 1.6. That's over 52 games. And this is all in the first 14 months in charge. A win percentage of over 51%. That's by far the most of any coach in New Mexico's history. And they've already set a club record for wins in a season as the Switchbacks look to respond here. Get another corner. But again, it's just been a wonderful job from Eric Quill. Hoping to build on that tonight as they have some more defending to do here. It's a T. Rowe Price corner. Invest with confidence. Back in by McGee. Tambakis gets a touch onto that and got enough on it to allow Micheletto to clear.
He wasn't happy, the big goalkeeper. He couldn't get his hands up, got a little bit blocked, and in the end just got a hand on the ball. It could have gone straight to a Switchbacks player. It didn't, fortunately, for the goalkeeper. And it's always a danger when you have a lot of bodies around you as a keeper. You come for a corner, you can't get to the ball cleanly. Gets away with it that time, does Alex Tambakis.
Two more score updates for you, Gary.
Oh, go on.
Birmingham 0, Pittsburgh 3.
Wow.
Going into the stoppage time now in Alabama. That would be a gigantic result for Bob Lilly's group after dropping the 2 points late against these Switchbacks. And then the other one, 2 red cards in this game as well, by the way. Charleston 6, Orange County 0. A lot of Western Conference teams will be pretty happy with that.
Wow, that's a thumping for Orange County, they've really been struggling. Their start was great. They looked absolutely fantastic, but they really are going through a tough spell at the moment. But 6, that is a real thumping.
And they continue to struggle scoring goals as well. That's the 4th, I believe, game in a row that Orange County has failed to score. The game's not quite over yet, but that would be 4 in a row, I believe, now without a goal.
Pittsburgh, I think it's now 9 unbeaten. And we said a couple of months ago when Bob Lilly was going through this tough time, there's one coach you never write off. That's Bob Lilly, and he's turned it around. Well, he's busy turning it around. They're still not in a playoff spot, but I think they're only 3 points off the 8th spot in the East, and I wouldn't bet against him now making those playoffs because they're in such a good run. So congratulations to Pittsburgh for the turnaround.
Well, and two of the teams they're trying to catch are playing each other tonight. It's Loudoun 0, Rhode Island 0. They're going into stoppage time in Virginia. So if that were to hold, pretty good night if you support the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. A lot of teams around you dropping points.
And I think it's true even in the West that the USL is better now than it's ever been. It's tighter, it's more difficult. But you look in the West, Phoenix Rising, the current champions, are sitting in 10th. San Antonio, one of the top sides last year, in 11th. I mean, and then we're looking at Orange County having just dropped down there in the final 8th position and heading downwards.
Free kick for the Switchbacks. And by the way, Gary, you just named the last 3 USL champions right there. Phoenix, Orange County, and San Antonio. How crazy is that?
Yeah, it is brilliant. And Las Vegas have been on a real tear. They're looking fantastic. Oakland Roots sitting in 4th. So, and New Mexico, you mentioned, never had a home playoff match. Well, sitting very proudly top of the table and 1-0 up here.
Fjellberg tries to change that for the Switchbacks. A valiant effort, but it's well defended again by United. That was Maples defensively, and Tambakis has no trouble fielding it.
Well, his last clean sheet, Tambakis, 9 games ago, and we said at the beginning under the Keys, they'll be wanting to keep a clean sheet. If they do, obviously, they'll walk away with all 3 points. But as a goalkeeper, you do measure yourself to some extent by clean sheets and goals conceded, and Tambakis is a top-class keeper. He will not be happy having gone now 8 games without a clean sheet.
Yeah, Tambakis has 5 clean sheets this season. That accounts for all of New Mexico's clean sheets. Anytime they've had a clean sheet, he's been the one that has secured it for Eric Quill in the league this season. Gloucester strides forward for United, but it's Bailey has to bail him out by stepping in, and Zandy couldn't get it away from Akale. And Akale runs into space. Was that handled by Zandy? Referee waves that away. Micheletto convinced it came off the arm. McGee comes the other way. Micheletto has to be careful. He's already been booked. Santos joins in and slows it down. Mahoney out to Matt Real. And Zandy is forced back to Pierre. Now then, Fjellberg trying to turn away from Mohammed. Real's there in support. Fjellberg's available. Jonas Fjellberg cutting it back. And his shot is blocked. I think that was Maples again. Micheletto looks to hold up the play, and he wins a free kick off of Speedy Williams.
Good free kick to win, just to slow things down again and take the pressure off as the home side are pushing hard to get back on level terms. Damas just chasing on his own here, needs support if you're going to do a high press. Otherwise, poor old Ronaldo Damas, he's running a long way and does well there to put some pressure on, but doesn't make any difference.
Reyes, again, can run into space here, but now he's collapsed upon by Real. Falls back to Reyes. And didn't quite have the venom in the strike to trouble Christian Herrera. It's not taking New Mexico much when they can get through that first line of the press to really start motoring. And McGee is going to be fouled by Bailey. So the Switchbacks will get the set piece as we revisit the New Mexico move.
Yeah, this was a little handball, just pops up after the, maybe just before that, I don't know, when there was a handball on the edge of the box. Okay, this is a shot, so I'm getting mixed up between what happened there. That's a shot straightforward for Christian Herrera. There was also a handball on the edge there that wasn't given, but that happens naturally in the play. Not all handballs are necessarily free kicks. If your hand's in the natural position or whatever, then sometimes the referee won't give it.
And that was Micheletto earlier asking the question of the referee on Zandy potentially handling it. Wasn't given by the referee, to your point. Here's Speedy Williams. Had a little bit of space to run into there. Thought better of it. Mahoney. Just enough on it to find Santos, and then Damas in the middle. Couldn't quite get onto it. McGee tries to keep it alive. A handball appeal from McGee comes in. Again, the referee not interested. And now Bruce is onside here for New Mexico. It's a 1-on-2. Rivas arrives. Bruce goes himself, and it's blocked away. Williams tries to pick it back up. Bruce's hustle gets it right back for United.
Good battling back there by Bruce. Absolutely brilliant to win that ball back. I just wondered if he was in an offside position, but it wasn't given. That's it. Play on. There's no VAR. There's no coming back and having a look at it. He was on his way, Bruce, and he was waiting for support. Just think it wasn't worth getting in the box and trying to go on his own, but he decided to wait for support. And when Rivas came, he still tried the shot. Well blocked by the defenders for Colorado Springs.
Ryden, who looks to be okay. We'll continue to keep an eye on him as the match moves along. Not the best pass from the captain there. Easy enough for Real to shepherd it out, and the Switchbacks get possession back. That goal earlier from Makwele Akale is the 70th regular season goal scored under Eric Quill's tutelage since he took over on June 13th, 2023. Top 5 amongst goals scored in the entire USL Championship. Only the likes of Memphis, the Rowdies, Louisville, and Charleston have scored more during that time. Pretty good company. Of course, at one point, those were the 4 top teams in the East. Now Memphis giving the Western Conference teams trouble since they moved last offseason. Here's Micheletto. Rivas. Tried a no-look pass. Zandy was all over it for the Switchbacks, and before Mahoney could clear it, Zandy was fouled. And it's a free kick.
Yeah, so much at stake in this match, besides obviously all the pride. The fact that they're only 5 points clear of 9th spot and being out of a playoff position, the Switchbacks. And you've just already mentioned that other teams are bombing up the table, so they're going to have to be very, very careful to stay ahead of the pack. It could all change. In fact, almost every coach we've spoken to has said, other than the likes of, say, New Mexico, who are well clear at the top, most of the others have said, you know what, we can go from 3rd or 5th down to 8th in the matter of 2 weekends. So you have to keep picking up points. And they've got an unbeaten home record, Switchbacks. 7 wins and 2 draws in the last 9. So all these reasons point to Colorado Springs fighting back here. And this is a long way from being done for New Mexico. I'm thinking they're going to have a lot of hard work and defending to do if they're to leave Widener Field with 3 points.
So many teams in the West have been on a roller coaster ride this season. We talked about it earlier. No one expected Phoenix and San Antonio to be 10th and 11th. El Paso also, I know they're not in it really at the moment, but they had high expectations. They're bottom of the West as Fjellberg wins a corner. Orange County's been on a roller coaster ride. Tulsa's been out of the playoffs for most of the season. Now they're in. Switchbacks had a terrible start. James Chambers has talked to us about that. Look where they are now. They come into the night in 5th. And Memphis, they're now 3rd after they have had an up and down season. Oakland was 9th at one point. Yeah. They're 4th. It's just the way it's been in the West this season.
It's fantastic, and in the East to some extent. Yeah. Maybe not as much, but the USL, it's better, it's closer, there's better players, more money coming in, stadiums. It just is, it's a league that's absolutely going places and providing so much entertainment.
It's a Pepsi corner. That's what I like for the Switchbacks, but the free kick comes up, should say the corner, beg your pardon, comes up short. Fjellberg retrieves. It's headed centrally behind Tejada. It was kept alive by Pierre. Mahoney into the middle. That was a chance for Real. It didn't quite get to him. Williams recovers for McGee. McGee back in there. It needs a touch. But the touch is, well, a bit reckless in the end, and it's cleared away. And now not well judged as well. Bruce can leak in behind. Trying to pass that across. Bruce can still go with it here. Zandy tries to help out. Makwele Akale looks to find space for the shot, but he's driven away from the goal. Bruce is struggling to get back to his feet. More numbers arrive. Bailey looks for help. Bruce is still down. Mika Leto now has it, and he will slow it down just for the moment. Another chaotic sequence.
So there's a moment there when Bruce had Akale on his right, free and on his own. If he could have just got the ball to him, it would have been almost certain goal. Good defending in the end from the Switchbacks.
Mika Leto can't quite link up with Bailey, but the Switchbacks give it right back. Poor pass from Williams. It's Rivas who thought about unleashing the shot. Good step by Zandy. Now then, Maples for Ryden. Just over 10 minutes plus stoppage left in the half. Ryden's forced back. Damas gives chase. And then Maples has to deal with Fjellberg. It somehow goes all the way through. Akale's flick for Bruce. Near side Reyes. Still Reyes, 2 deflections on it. It doesn't get through to Herrera. Muhammad recovers. Maples. Now Rivas. New Mexico recycles it another time here in this sequence. Mika Leto. Bailey spinning backwards. Maples for Muhammad. Mika Leto dispossessed. But no avenue really for the Switchbacks to transition, at least not yet. Real looks for one. Runs out of options. Fjellberg is there to support.
Just looking at Daniel Bruce in the middle there. He hurt his, I think, his left ankle when he had that chance a couple of minutes ago, and he's been hobbling ever since.
Damas, is he onside here? The answer is no. And the flag goes up.
And, Daniel Bruce will be a big worry. He's been such a good player in recent games, scoring crucial goals. And they'll be hoping that that injury isn't a bad one, in the same way that, oh, there, as I speak about it, he's gone down. Just have a look here, just sort of, he gets up again. Well, I don't know exactly where it happened, whether it happened there, but he gets up, and then he stays down. He really struggles. A couple of moments when he was almost limping along with the rest of them, trying to stay up there in case the ball came to him. And such a good player. They will not want to lose him at this stage of the match.
It's another common Spirit Health on-field injury here. And well, you mentioned it, Gary, as it was happening. Great effort by Bruce just to try to stay involved in the play. And a couple of hustle moments to keep the possession going New Mexico's way. But he's obviously continued to feel the pain. And, well, obviously now the wonder is, will Eric Quill have to make a change here? If you're just joining us, New Mexico scored early in the first half. A bit of a misjudgment here from Herrera. Allows Akale to score.
Yep, partly Herrera, but maybe Mahoney as well, because the pass here is not a good one for the goalkeeper. It goes straight to Akale, to be fair. I'm not sure what Christian Herrera could have done. Could he have got to the ball quicker? But once he doesn't, he's always in danger of giving away a penalty and potentially a red card. So he's got to, you know, just stand up, and let's give Akale credit. He goes round the keeper so quickly and tucks it in from a tight angle. But I think there'll be probably more fingers pointed at Matt Mahoney than there will be for Christian Herrera. Either way, it was good pressure from New Mexico that forced the error. That was what impressed me so much about the team that lead the West at the moment, especially in those first 10 minutes. They were really on the front foot.
And that was back in the 8th minute. And since then, it's been back and forth. New Mexico probably looked the more likely as Bruce will trot back on. And Herrera gets onto it before Acobo Reyes could get there. Now then, McGee, after some pretty good hold-up play there by Damas under pressure. New Mexico deals with it in the end, but Micheletto can't keep it in play in front of Eric Quill. A contract extension, by the way, takes Eric Quill's contract to the end of the 2026 season. So Quill ball, as some are starting to call it, is going to continue on for quite some time into the future.
That's a nice extension. You've still got this year to go and 2 more after that, but when you produce that sort of turnaround, it makes sense for the ownership to try and hold on to a coach who's producing such attacking football. The goals they've scored, you made a point earlier that they conceded way too many. Is it 31?
Yeah.
That's a little bit too much for a team that want to go on and win the championship.
Could be 32. Tejada, not quite in the end. It was nearly a chance for Damas. He kind of got stuck in the middle. Again, New Mexico clogging the areas they need to, and then that's a poor challenge from Williams, knocking Bruce to the floor. That's a free kick for the visitors.
And Bruce is taking a few knocks at the moment, but just that point, 31 goals conceded. Sac Republic in second place have only conceded 20. So, you know, you want to be able to keep clean sheets, especially when you get to the playoffs, but take nothing away from their positive play. 37 goals. Only Memphis with 40 have scored more than them in the West. It really is impressive all round, and if they win this one, it will be 15 wins out of 24. The next best is Memphis with 11. So they've been able to win way more games than their nearest rivals. That in itself is super impressive.
Of course, they had that long home unbeaten run at the start of the season as well that Vegas were able to bring to a halt a few weeks back. So if New Mexico does get home field throughout the playoffs, at least till the final, they are going to be really, really difficult to stop. The lab, as many call it in Albuquerque, is going to be bouncing all postseason long if New Mexico can claim the #1 seed in the West.
Well, you hope it's going to help them. The amazing thing is Phoenix won all their matches away from home.
Good point.
Last year to go on and win the championship. So, again, coaches just saying to us, all we want to do is get into the playoffs and get into it playing in form. From then onwards, you just got to win the games that are in front of you. Last year, New Mexico, they lost their very first game in the playoffs to Sac Republic away. So to your point, they'll probably say, well, if we're at home, we've got a better chance, not guaranteed. And Switchbacks, they lost in the first round of the playoffs to San Antonio. Again, away.
Colorado Springs is actually a good example of how important home field advantage can be. The times they've been on the road in the postseason, whether it's been under Brendan Burke or in other recent seasons, they've lost in the first round. But when they've been here, they've made deep runs. As Bruce makes a deep run here and win a corner on the near side. Of course, just a few years back, the Switchbacks were in a Western Conference final after winning a couple of home games in the postseason, but they did lose on the road to San Antonio, who won the title back in 2021. I beg your pardon, 2022, I should say.
There's a traveling New Mexico fans in the corner. Great to see that. It's, you know, the sort of derby atmosphere is very big in Europe. There's a lot of big derbies, or derbies as you call them. And here you're beginning to see it grow, and I just love the interaction between different groups of fans. Much more polite and pleasant here in the States than it is in England, I can promise you that much.
Micheletto is having some trouble with the ad board in front of the away support. And the ball's not actually in the arc either. The referee did not see that. So Micheletto actually gets away with one there. And then it pinballs back out. It's a goal kick to the Switchbacks. Still a couple minutes plus stoppage time for the Switchbacks to respond after going behind early. Santos. 2-3 yellow shirts around him. He doesn't get through it. And Micheletto recovers the possession. Does feel like the Switchbacks press has not quite been at full flight in the game, and New Mexico have had times to take advantage of that.
Yeah, Damas on his own has been chasing. You need to, if you're going to close, you need a bit of help. He's got the help now. Now you can see the blue jerseys, and they play well through it. New Mexico, credit to them.
Gloucester has time and space here for New Mexico, and help as well. Bailey let it go for Akale. Micheletto for Mohammed. Mohammed for Bailey, then Bruce couldn't get enough on it. Tejada is able to do just enough to put him off, and Herrera claims.
Good move. They played through the press, didn't they? They played out of it and through the press, and built it down that right-hand side all the way to Bruce getting a snapshot, which didn't quite work out for them. But the move itself, the creativity, absolutely excellent from New Mexico.
They've looked the more likely to add on United than the Switchbacks have been to equalize as the half has continued. Zandy just poking it ahead, couldn't get it to McGee. Rivas takes it the other way for New Mexico. Near side Reyes. Told there's going to be a pretty big chunk of stoppage time left to play, so still a chance to gain some late first half momentum. 5 minutes confirmed to go. That's brought to you by the TikTok shop. Akale, who scored the first goal. Bruce. Micheletto. Rivas doesn't have the angle. Micheletto was trying to find Reyes. He does find Reyes. And with the form that Jacobo Reyes is in, you would have expected a better finish.
Yeah, you could expect him to at least hit target and make the goalkeeper work, but give Micheletto credit here. Looks like he'd lost it, and he lunges to win that. He really fought hard to make sure that he got that through to Jacobo Reyes, and he turns, and he had to turn very quickly, to be fair. It wasn't easy, but a player of his ability would still expect him to be on target and force Christian Herrera to have to make some sort of save.
This could be a pretty important 4 minutes in the match. New Mexico continuing to knock at the door in search of a second. Switchbacks doing everything they can to try to change the momentum and work their way back up the other end to find an equalizer. Rivas from right in. Rivas was looking for Akale, who wasn't looking in his direction. Zandy for Jonas Fjellberg. Fjellberg with a wonderful ball through to McGee. McGee tried to find Damas, but that's a huge intervention from Kalen Ryden, and it's out for a corner.
Yeah, he's been very, very quiet on that left-hand side, Colorado Springs and Fjellberg in particular, but what good defending from Kalen Ryden. If he doesn't get that, Damas is free in the middle. McGee knows that he's trying to get that ball to Ronaldo Damas. But fantastic defending, but they haven't done much in the last 15-20 minutes, Jonas Fjellberg, but lovely turn, beautiful through ball to Tyrick McGree.
Pepsi corner upcoming, that's what I like. Switchbacks in search of a late first half leveler as Reyes and Pierre are invited into a referees conference here on the edge of the penalty area. It has been an intense half in the derby, that is for sure. McGee. Oh, he tried to get it towards the middle, right in the middle. Tejada was the closest to it in a blue shirt. Santos back into the mix. Damas was the closest, but Tambakis is the one who collects.
Yeah, good goalkeeping. Come and claim it. Had plenty of height on the ball, so you would expect him to come, but you can see he's just calming everything down. He knows they want to get to the locker room at half-time. Still 1-0 up, so push the bodies forward. go long, put lots of height in it, and just try and play out these final 2 minutes without giving Colorado Springs anything. That would, you would think, would be the aim right now for New Mexico United.
Out wide from the goal scorer, Kale to Mohammed. First time ball over the top from Rivas, but Pierre, he's just about going to be able to shepherd that out of play. Goal kick is the decision.
Oh,
And Kale is reminding everybody what the scoreline is.
yeah, 1-0. Oh, it's fine saying that, but you're going to get more stick if suddenly second half you're 2-1 down. But fair enough. Enjoying the crowd, giving some banter back, nothing wrong with that. As long as it's done in the right spirit, of course.
He did score the goal, to be fair, but to your point, Gary, maybe in the 88th, not
Yeah,
the 48th.
Exactly.
Because here they come, the Switchbacks. Fjellberg's ball, though, is too close to Tambakis, and that'll take us into the final seconds of the half. In what's been a passionate, intense, and really entertaining derby, I must say, to this point.
Yeah, and it's been fairly even. I think New Mexico United have probably had the better of it in terms of the chances. But to be fair, the only goal was, I thought, a poor back pass. Put the goalkeeper in trouble from Matt Mahoney, and credit for New Mexico for jumping on that, and Akale for scoring it. But other than that, they have been fairly even. But they've defended everything that Switchbacks have thrown at them. New Mexico have managed to defend it with relative ease, and that's probably why they're top of the West. They really are a good side, and they've coped with the pressure in a real derby cauldron here. They've coped with it really well so far.
5 minutes are up. Is there time for one more move here? Zandy gets the second ball. Real keeps it alive for him in the final seconds here. McGee to Zandy. Zach Zandy! Wasn't a million miles away, but Tambakis was not too worried about it.
You have all the players you want on the front foot. He's probably one of those who are top of your list. Fantastic footballer, and for me, he's got to hit target there. Yeah, he knows it. He's got into the box. He's got time. You've got to make the keeper work, and he didn't.
That's the last act of the half here at Widener Field. Little bit of everything here on Derby Day. It's been intense. It has been passionate. It's been everything we expect in the USL Championship. Makwele Akale is the goal scorer, and New Mexico have the lead at the half. He reminded everyone what the halftime score was before the end of the first half as well. But as Gary rightly said, pretty even so far, but New Mexico have the breakthrough, and they have a lead to hold on to going in to an mightily important second half here in Colorado Springs. 1-0 to New Mexico at the half. Plenty to come at halftime, which is coming up next.
Injured in a crash? Get McDivitt and you get a firm dedicated to every single detail of your case.
We have the knowledge and resources to investigate the crash and your insurance company's small print.
Details matter. That's why we dive deep into every aspect of your case. This gives us the firepower we need to make the insurance company pay you the money you deserve.
We never ask you to pay a penny until we get you max money for your injuries.
Online at mcdivittlaw.com.
McDivitt.
Natural gas ensures that when you need to heat things up, you can, but it can also be hazardous. That's why, in the event of a natural gas leak, you need to know the 3 S's. The first one, sound. Listen for the sound of hissing or whistling. Number 2, sight. Look for dead or discolored vegetation in an otherwise green area. And number 3, smell. It's hard to miss. Be on the lookout for a pungent odor like rotten eggs. If you notice any of these signs, leave the area immediately and call 911. For more information, go to csu.org.
The moment you call McDivitt, an action plan is put into place right away to get you the help you need.
Each case and each client is different, with different needs and solutions. Your attorney and team immediately investigates every aspect of your crash and injuries.
We track down all the paperwork and deal directly with the insurance company for you.
We keep you in the loop every step of the way, fighting to get you max money for your injuries.
And you never pay us a dime until we get money for you.
McDivitt.
Colorado Springs Utilities serves electric, gas, water, and wastewater. If you combine all 4 services, you're paying around 11% less than anybody else on the Front Range. Water is the only one of our 4 services where you pay more. Since we have no river systems of our own, more than 70% of our water comes from Colorado's West Slope. Colorado Springs Utilities has delivered all 4 of these services safely, reliably, and at the best value to you for the last 100 years, and we will continue to do that long into the future.
Halftime is presented by Widener Apartment Homes. It is 1-0 to New Mexico United against the hosts, the Colorado Springs Switchbacks here on ESPN+. Really good game so far. Big second half still to come here at Widener Field. Meanwhile, tonight's honorary healthcare professional of the match is the manager-leader team at St. Francie, Kim Wood, Kerry Smith, and Lauren Carney. Thank you for all you do and everything you've done to help our community. The healthcare professional of the match is sponsored by Olson Plumbing and Heating.
Hey Switchbacks fans, Garrett DeLong here. I'm your season ticket member, development specialist. 2025 early bird season tickets are live now. If you want to get the best deals and the best seats, give us a call, 719-368-8480. Don't want you to miss out on these clucking great deals. Go Switchbacks.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
This is the beginning. This is a first practice, a first video session, a first pregame talk. This is a first ticket, a first scarf raise, a first kickoff. This is a tapestry of clubs and players and communities inspired by those who blazed the trail for women's sports, ready to inspire the next generation. We are the USL Super League. We're part of the movement, and this is our moment.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
The numbers are brilliant here for Phoenix. Can they find their second right here? Drops it to Lasso. Lasso gives it a go. What is the Lasso?
When mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Injured in a crash? Get McDivitt, and you get a firm dedicated to every single detail of your case.
We have the knowledge and resources to investigate the crash and your insurance company's small print.
Details matter. That's why we dive deep into every aspect of your case. This gives us the firepower we need to make the insurance company pay you the money you deserve.
We never ask you to pay a penny until we get you max money for your injuries.
Online at McDivittLaw.com.
McDivitt.
Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey back here with you at the half, brought to you by Widener Apartment Homes. Goal from Maquele Akale has New Mexico ahead at Widener Field, but there's still a gigantic second half coming up in just a few moments. But first, let's take a look around the league. the USL with news and notes. Everyone's talking about Louisville for multiple reasons, of course. Jack Harlow now a minority stake owner in the club, but of course, Gary, that huge signing, Philip Goodrum scoring in his debut for Charleston after coming over from Tulsa.
I mean, it's as if they haven't got enough good players already. They're going to add Philip Goodrum to that, and Philip alongside Wilson Harris up front, all the other talent they have. They are right now looking as if they're the team to beat. They look as if they are the best team in the USL, but doesn't mean to say they're going to pick up all the trophies. It just takes one bad day in the playoffs and you're out. So exciting times, though, for Lou City fans.
As we talked about it earlier, New Mexico trying to continue now to extend their record for the club's most wins in a single season. They could get to 15 tonight if they can hold on to their current advantage. Get the team of the week in just a second, but first let's look back at the goal and the save of the week from last week in the USL Championship.
Finds the back of the net. Miquele Akale, second goal of the season, both from direct free kicks.
This is played in behind. And here's Ryan Flood. Flood saves.
Miquele Akale is at it again with a goal tonight. He's in the team of the week this week, week 24 in the USL Championship. Of course, no surprise that Danny Cruz was the coach of the week last week as well.
Yeah, his team doing so well, as you mentioned. Look, Harry Schwartz with his 2 goals was the player of the week, not available this week. But 2 goals in that 3-3 draw against FC Tulsa. From 3-1 down, comes on as a sub and gets both those goals. So well done there to Harry Schwartz.
Jansen Wilson, Taylor Davila in there as well. Alvaro Quezada from Memphis, also strong of late. And Hartford won over Louisville tonight. Michin Galina continues to be very important for Brendan Burke's side. We'll step aside for a moment. We'll get to first half highlights, stats, and the second half kickoff in the derby between the Switchbacks and New Mexico. All of it is coming up on the other side of the break.
Injured in a crash? Get McDivitt and you get a firm dedicated to every single detail of your case.
We have the knowledge and resources to investigate the crash and your insurance company's small print.
Details matter. That's why we dive deep into every aspect of your case. This gives us the firepower we need to make the insurance company pay you the money you deserve.
We never ask you to pay a penny until we get you max money for your injuries.
Online at McDivittLaw.com.
McDivitt.
Natural gas ensures that when you need to heat things up, you can, but it can also be hazardous. That's why, in the event of a natural gas leak, you need to know the 3 S's. The first one, sound. Listen for the sound of hissing or whistling. Number 2, sight. Look for dead or discolored vegetation in an otherwise green area. And number 3, smell. It's hard to miss. Be on the lookout for a pungent odor like rotten eggs. If you notice any of these signs, leave the area immediately and call 911. For more information, go to csu.org.
The moment you call McDivitt, an action plan is put into place right away to get you the help you need.
Each case and each client is different, with different needs and solutions. Your attorney and team immediately investigates every aspect of your crash and injuries.
We track down all the paperwork and deal directly with the insurance company for you.
We keep you in the loop every step of the way, fighting to get you max money for your injuries.
And you never pay us a dime until we get money for you.
McDivitt.
Colorado Springs Utilities serves electric, gas, water, and wastewater. If you combine all 4 services, you're paying around 11% less than anybody else on the Front Range. Water is the only one of our 4 services where you pay more. Since we have no river systems of our own, more than 70% of our water comes from Colorado's West Slope. Colorado Springs Utilities has delivered all 4 of these services safely, reliably, and at the best value to you for the last 100 years, and we will continue to do that long into the future.
Halftime here at Widener Field, brought to you by Widener Apartment Homes. We're moments away from the start of the second half between the Switchbacks and New Mexico. Eric Quill's side have a 1-0 lead from Mukwele Akale. A chance to look back at that and other big moments from the first half with our first half highlights brought to you by Broadmoor Cryotherapy. Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey, we're taking you through it here. We begin in the opening seconds with a shot from Jonas Fjellberg.
It literally was the opening seconds. Straight at the goalkeeper, but a nice catch from Tembakas to get him straight into the game. Look at it again. It's not a long way out. It's 25 yards out at an angle. But it showed the intent of Colorado Springs.
It certainly set the tone for this game, and then it didn't take long for New Mexico to put their foot on the gas either.
A nice little build-up and a snapshot coming in from Mohammed, and just goes wide. But again, the intention, get a half a chance, take it, take the shot. Akale causing the problems down that side, and we're going to see him cause problems, bigger problems in a moment or two. But that shot not too far away from Mohammed.
That was kind of the theme. Good build-up play from New Mexico, but this was a miscued back pass.
Yeah, Mahoney plays it. Akale reads it absolutely perfectly, but I just don't think it's necessary to play that ball in from there when you know you're under pressure. And Akale's on the edge of the box, and as soon as he sees Matt Mahoney's head goes down here, you can't see it in the middle, but he makes a sprint. And Christian Herrera may be slow to pick up on the pass from the big goalkeeper, but you don't need to play a ball that's so dangerous from that position. Just play it down the line going forward.
Broadmoor Cryotherapy halftime stats pretty even as far as shots and possession, but the quality of the chances lean towards Eric Quill's side.
Well, they most certainly do, and expected goals gives you a fairly good measure of that. 0.31 for the home side, so a third of a goal, but 1.12 for New Mexico United. So they certainly have created more chances, they've created better chances, but you're wide in the field. There's every chance Colorado Springs can come flying back in this game. So I think we've got a really exciting 45 minutes ahead from two exciting attacking teams.
What this game means as far as the table in the West, looking at it live off screen here at the moment, New Mexico, if they win in the live table, they would go 9 points clear of Memphis, who are in second, and United have 2 games in hand on Memphis 901 as well. Now remember, Memphis and Oakland just kicked off, so that's another game to keep an eye on. And well, it's been fireworks throughout the whole season, really, in the USL Championship, so why not have some halftime fireworks and another fierce derby match with so much on the line for these two teams. But like you said earlier, Gary, Switchbacks level on terms with Las Vegas with points right now, 32 each in the live table, but they're just 4 points clear of the final playoff spot right now. Orange County sitting there, certainly sweating right now after they lost to Charleston today, and Monterey Bay are in 9th, but they're level on points with Orange County. So it's all within just a couple of results with a lot of games left.
Bear in mind, Phoenix Rising might be a point back from Monterey Bay, but they've got 3 games in hand over Orange County. If they put a run together, they can get right up next to Colorado Springs. So yeah, it's possible to go from having a great mid-season, which they have done, the Switchbacks under James Chambers, to dropping out of the out of the race entirely for a playoff spot. These next 3-4 games, absolutely critical.
And they're not in the best form right now, but to your point about games in hand, San Antonio has a couple of games in hand on some of those teams as well. They're just 4 points back. So there's still a lot still to be determined in both the East and the West as the second half is underway here at Widener Field. New Mexico are ahead. They're going from left to right at the start of the second half. Good early pressure there from Tejada. It's a New Mexico throw.
Yeah, better early pressure. They didn't do enough of that in the first half where they had support. Tejada supporting Damas, who was on his own a lot of the time. Now, if you then high press with 4 or 5 players, then you can get turnover ball. But of course, if they play through your press, they've got acres to play in. So it's always the risk reward of the high press.
Fjellberg, was he fouled there? Referee had a look, says on we go. Fjellberg getting back to his feet. Great run here from Marco Micheletto, getting New Mexico up the other end. Mohammed's first time ball is going to soar out of play.
Quite sure what Mohammed was trying to do there. Was he aiming for Greg Hurst, who seems to be a substitute? We're about to say Daniel Bruce struggling before half-time. We see Greg Hurst there not surprised that they've taken Bruce off, because he really was limping the last 5 minutes.
Here comes Fjellberg. Fjellberg's going to lose track of it. Damas got back onto it, tries to keep it going. 3 players around him. Fjellberg tries to get back in there. In the end, New Mexico literally by the skin of their teeth doing enough to clear it away. And yes, there's actually 3 changes to tell you about from the half. Will Seymour and Greg Hurst are on for New Mexico. Bruce and Ryden make way for Eric Quill's side. And then Duke Lacroix, rare night he doesn't get a start for the Switchbacks. He's on though, and Coa Santos makes way for Colorado Springs. So 2 changes for New Mexico at the half, just the 1 for the Switchbacks. And again, Monterey Bay just kicked off with El Paso. We'll keep you up to date as long as we can on that. And the other big game of the night in the West, Oakland hosting Memphis. Both those games, no score. And Akale is going to pass that out of play. All those substitutions brought to you by the William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center that were made during the halftime interval.
Well, there's plenty more subs available for the Switchbacks if they find themselves still 1-0 down as the match moves into the 60th to the 70th minute. They've got Yosuke Hanya on the bench. He scored some cracking goals this year. Jairo Enriquez, big Justin Dillon. Those are the sort of players they could throw on if needed.
McGee was involved in a lot of the positive moments the Switchbacks had in the first half. And he has a lovely turn here into space. McGee looks for the angle, finds Fjellberg on the near side. Real is in there for company, but Fjellberg has eyes for goal! And the shot takes a big deflection. It was headed out. It's going to be a McDivitt corner on the far side.
Wow, that was some strike. It looked like it was heading towards the top corner. We'll never know because it was deflected. But have a look here, get behind it. Well, it certainly would have caused the keeper a few problems one way or another. Nice start from the home side. They've come out second half absolutely on fire here, have Colorado Springs.
McDivitt Law Firm corner. We're in your corner. Once again, taking the corner is Tyreek McGee. It's a high arcer towards Pierre. Mahoney cushions it down for Zandy. Now Zandy looks for space, but there's too many yellow shirts in his way, and he loses out. Chance for Micheletto to lead the break, and New Mexico, if they hurry, have the numbers. Lovely early ball in behind. Greg Hurst's touch is loose. Herrera didn't get there, but then Hurst couldn't keep it in play for New Mexico. Wow.
I bet Greg Hurst would love that back. It was a beautiful ball through him. His first touch has got to be better, and it wasn't. It bounced away from him, and the moment was lost, but that's what they would have been hoping for. A lovely counter-attack, brilliant in transition. Got the ball right to Greg Hurst, which again is what they would have wanted to do, but he's normally a lot better than that. Greg Hurst, 9 goals this season. And his first touch just let him down.
Played up ahead for Fjellberg. Fjellberg lets fly. It was a decent move to get the opening for the shot, but it goes out of play. And we'll get a chance to revisit the lovely counter-attacking move from New Mexico.
Put this ball in, absolutely stunning. His first touchdown. Now he's on the run, so it's difficult because you've got to touch it forward, but it just was a bad touch from an otherwise really good striker, and the moment was lost.
And Greg Hurst previously shining with Union Omaha and USL League One, Phoenix Rising as well, and earlier in his career, the Scotsman has been quite the marksman throughout the USL ranks, and this season's no exception. And New Mexico will get a free kick. Micheletto wins it. Rivas and company take it quickly. Rivas has time and space. He's going to let one go. It wasn't far away. Herrera sees it fly over his bar.
It wasn't far away. You could tell by the goalkeeper. He was scrambling. He threw his body across the goal there to just try and cover the shot. So again, New Mexico very quick on that counter-attack, and something the Switchbacks have to be careful of as they go in search of the equalizer. New Mexico was setting them up to try and counter with pace.
That ball is looped over the top, and Maples had to deal with that and did in the end. Great cushion touch there by McGee. Bailey on his hip. Still close quarters to work with here for Tyreek McGee. Looks for help. And Bailey bundles him over. It's a free kick. And now Bailey won't let the ball go. And
he's got to let the ball go. He's going to get a yellow card for that. I'll tell you what, it could easily turn into red if he's not careful. You can't hold on to the ball.
It is a yellow. So Bailey's halfway to trouble here. Now he lets it go, and the referee is probably telling him, I should say, exactly what you just said, Gary.
I don't know what he's thinking. It's just I guess with the derby match, we spoke about emotions and passion, but he's had a nibble here, a couple of nibbles. He thinks he got the ball fairly, but then just let it go. You can't hold on to it there. And then he continues to hold on to it. Even when the referee's got the yellow card out, he's still holding on to it. So again, it's easy to laugh about it, but when you're in those moments and the passions are running deep, it's you've got to get a grip of yourself. And important for his teammates to have a little quiet word and say, hey, just take a deep breath, calm it all down.
Say diverse is health, yellow card, mental health and well-being for all.
The problem with getting that yellow card is if he gets another one now for a tackle which he missed times, he'll look back on that and go, that was actually a silly initial yellow card to get. So now he's got to tread very carefully, Zico Bailey.
We've seen players get sent off for less this season for testing the referee's patience. From the free kick, Speedy Williams. It's headed centrally. It's cushioned to the outskirts of the penalty area. Zandy refreshes it. Matt Mahoney. Tyreek McGee. Williams is forced back. Now gets it back, and now Mahoney makes the run. McGee. Speedy Williams chopping it, looking for space for the shot or a cross. Placed into the middle for Damas. Tejada sees Tambakis climb the highest.
Wow. They were just looking for a chance there, and to be fair to New Mexico, they haven't given away a silly pen. They haven't done something they shouldn't have done. They just kept defending every situation. Eventually, Tambakis comes and gathers. But good pressure from the home side and sensible defending from New Mexico United.
Remember, Switchbacks have won 3 straight home contests against New Mexico in the rivalry. That is what is at stake tonight, along with, of course, what we highlighted earlier, the playoff implications. Here is Duke Lacroix. Again, the Switchbacks pushing for an equalizer. Pierre has nowhere to go and sends it all the way back to Herrera. Mahoney. Is that going to stay in play? No, it is not. It's just too far out in front of Lacroix. More and more possession for the Switchbacks, and they certainly look the more likely after New Mexico at times. The ones that were closer to scoring another in the first half.
Be careful about wasting time here, Tambakis. You might get a yellow card. You can see they're already just looking at slowing the game down every time they can. Sensible thing to do, but always within the limits that don't get you a yellow card.
After the Bailey yellow, it's Bailey and Micheletto for New Mexico on a card. So far, the Switchbacks are clean as far as the cards are concerned.
There's the subs in the background, and do expect to see some changes for Switchbacks in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Get some fresh legs on this pitch and see what they can do.
The right idea there from Fjellberg. It didn't quite get to McGee. I think McGee may have followed through on his challenge. It's a New Mexico free kick.
The two committed players going for that ball, that little flick on. McGee goes for it and they just collide, the pair of them. No malice in it at all, but just two players committed to the cause. And referee very quick to blow.
McGee might have also pulled Will Seymour down after the collision, and that's what led to the free kick, but now McGee is down. It's an on-field injury brought to you by Common Spirit Health. Well, he's probably now at the top of the list of players the Switchbacks can't afford to be without. Maybe along with Ronaldo Damas, I would say. McGee's going to be so critical down the stretch. Want to have him on the field as much as possible if you're James Chambers.
But to your point about needing him for the rest of the season, if they think that he's picked up too bad a knock, they have lots of good options. You mentioned them, Yosuke Hanya, Jairo Enriquez. You can push them up into more attacking position, or you can then push Zach Zandy higher up, for example, or just bring in Justin Dillon. Get the big man up front and start going route one and bombing balls in and testing the heading ability of the New Mexico United defenders.
A defense that no longer includes Kalen Ryden, who's now on the bench. He was substituted at halftime, to your point there, Gary. McGee's back on in the meantime for the Switchbacks. As we approach the hour mark at Widener Field. Again, the goal in the 8th minute from Mkwele Akale has New Mexico on top for now.
It really is beautifully set up, isn't it? The team at the top of the West, 1-0 up. And then Colorado Springs unbeaten in 9 at home, chasing the game. Are they going to get an equalizer? Are they going to get caught in a counter-attack and concede a second? Who knows? All these are possibilities.
Real had the right idea, but Damas was occupied by Maples. Damas thumbs up on the attempted cross, but it's a goal kick. It is really well poised, like you said, Gary. It just feels like the next moment could be the most important in the match. It's hard to say in the context of the full season how important these games are going to be, because so much can change, but every game is just so vital right now. All the points feel like they mean everything. Here's a Cobo Reyes from New Mexico. But he's going to run out of room. Zach Zandy on the defensive work there. Goes out, looks like it's a Switchbacks throw, and we're going to see some Switchbacks changes as well. Fjellberg is out to begin things, and Yosuke Hanya is going to come on. Juan Tejada is going to come out. Justin Dillon is going to come on. There's 2 changes. Tyreek McGee is going to come out. Jairo Enriquez is going to come on. Zach Zandy out. And I believe that's Aiden Rocha, yes. So a quadruple change for Colorado Springs. That's the remainder of their changes as well, with 30 minutes to play. They're all brought to you by the William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center. And everybody that you mentioned, Gary, well, Rocha included now, is on at the same time.
Wow, he really has played his hand, hasn't he, James Chambers? You'd have thought you might have kept one back just in case of an injury. If someone gets injured now, you've got 30 minutes, you're down to 10 players, but he's decided, you know what, let's be brave, let's go for it, and he's thrown his whole hand on the table. And you know, credit to him for being so positive. Let's see how it plays out.
Rocha gets involved right away, and he's going to shoot as well! Oh, it's deflected off the frame! It took a gigantic ricochet, and the Switchbacks are thwarted by the crossbar.
Wow, well done, the goalkeeper, just for putting a foot out. Not easy when you're going to your left, and then the deflection means you've got to suddenly change direction, but it just put enough on there, Tambakis, to get that onto the crossbar. Wonderful bit of goalkeeping from Alex Tambakis, and unlucky there from Colorado Springs Switchbacks.
Free kick up the other end for New Mexico. And just to clarify, there were actually 2 deflections on that. One from the defender, then Tambakis with the stop, and then it just came pinging off the top of the crossbar. New Mexico breathe a huge sigh of relief, and the Switchbacks are a bit unfortunate. Again, the Switchbacks have now used all 5 of their changes. New Mexico still has 3 available, should Eric Quill and his staff choose to use them. Pressure here from Yosuke Hanya. Muhammad didn't have too many places to go, but he finds Akale, who lifts it over the top for Hurst, who's in an offside position. Well, now New Mexico are going to make a couple of changes here. Nanan Hosu is going to come on for Marco Micheletto, and Jacobo Reyes is also going to leave us. Avion Flanagan is going to replace him. So Reyes and Micheletto out, Flanagan and Hosu on. Another bunch of William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center changes. Everyone wants to get him out of the way, I guess. There's only 1 remaining between the 2 sides. Gotta be running out of rooks and pawns, Gary, at this point.
Well, it's interesting. The coaches have obviously weighed up what they want to do and how they want to do it. New Mexico have responded, and the only proof as to who's made the right decisions is how how the goals go from here.
I will say Eric Quill doesn't like sitting on his hands. He does tend to make adjustments pretty quickly, and he calls his substitutes finishers, so he doesn't mess around when he goes to his bench. He said multiple times this season that he feels like he has 18 to 20 starters available to him every time he gets a team sheet, so he expects that the level will not drop when he brings the likes of Hurst and Flanagan, Hosu and Seymour out onto the pitch.
The one difference, though, is he has that 5th sub available should anyone get injured, whereas for Switchbacks they haven't got anybody else, so they've got a major problem if someone gets a knock or a bad injury. Obviously, if it's a concussion, you can have a 6th sub, but anything other than a concussion would be a major problem for James Chambers and the Switchbacks.
Just the last note, as far as substitutions are concerned, there's only 2 outfield players remaining on Eric Quill's bench. It's Nicky Hernandez and Arturo Astorga, the defenders. So those are the last 2 available outfield players. Christopher Shakes, the backup goalkeeper, he's the 3rd option. "25 minutes to play. This is good pressure here from New Mexico. They win it back. Akale touched ahead here. Hosu plays it across. Akale, he's in! And Herrera saves it and catches. And was he fouled? The referee says yes. It's a free kick for Colorado Springs.
Yeah, good effort from Akale. It forces a decent save from the goalkeeper. Hosu doing so well down that right-hand side. But the shot had some power in it. Goalkeeper pushes it up and then gets bumped over the goal line as he's catching it. Again, another turnover ball. Oh, sorry, this is...
Well, that was a chance for Greg Hurst.
I thought for a second it was a replay. It actually was in live time. It happened so quickly. That's twice in a minute. They got turnover ball, New Mexico. And that's how they got their goal, from pressurizing. So once again, the ability to pick their moments properly is giving nice dividends for the league leaders in the West.
Yeah, Sergio Rivas didn't let you complete your sentence there, Gary, before winning the ball right back. Almost created another chance, and Hurst again, better touch there maybe. He could have been in. Scotsman's had a couple of real opportunities to make New Mexico firm leaders in this game tonight. But the door remains very much ajar here at Widener Field. Pierre up ahead, it's headed down. Speedy Williams. Been ambitious in the end. It's gonna go very much out of play. Hasn't scored this season yet. Former Lou City star.
Well, shots like that he won't score. It's a long way out. It has to be one hell of a strike. What was it, 35 yards out? In the end, it's not even on target. But let's give him something for being positive, Speedy Williams, but the actual execution wasn't, unfortunately, that good.
I think he hit that one from I-25 south. It's going to be a free kick for New Mexico. And again, the New Mexico supporters have made the long drive to get here across the state border. Sure, many of them have taken I-25 north to get here, and they are the ones that are happier at the moment, but there is still a big chunk of Derby left. And now that all the changes have been made, except for one, could see the next big moment happen in the next couple of minutes here. That's a takeaway. Chance for Ronaldo Damas to lead the attack. Dylan plays it behind Hanya, who still gets there. Then in the end, it's won back by Hosu.
Good work from Hosu there. Hanya going down a little bit too easily for me. I don't think it was a free kick. Look, space to run into here.
Akale. Still Akale. It deflects for Hurst, and Herrera makes a wonderful save. And the offside flag was up anyway. Would not have counted, but Herrera wasn't to know. That's a wonderful stop.
Yeah, good goalkeeping. Akale here running into lots of space. Deflected shot. Greg Hurst got to keep himself on side. You can see down the line. And it's his job to stay on side so he can feed off any deflection or any push out from the goalkeeper. So he'll be annoyed with himself. As you said, a couple of chances for Greg Hurst, and just either his first touch or his positioning hasn't been right as yet.
Enriquez for Dylan. New Mexico again deal with it. Was there a challenge in there? Yes, the referee kept his eye on that. Free kick for New Mexico and a yellow card for Jairo Enriquez. First one for a Colorado Springs player tonight.
He's coming on and trying to make his mark straight away, but got to be a little bit more controlled. Referee took a moment to decide. He's such a good player, Jairo Enriquez. And all these players have come on, great touch players. Yosuke Hanya, Aiden Rocha, and of course the big man up front, Justin Dillon. They can all impact the game. So it's going to be lots more work yet. We said from the beginning for New Mexico, you want to leave Widener Field with 3 points, you're going to have to work hard all the way through. They've done the job so far, but they've got 20 minutes plus still to come.
Diverse is health, yellow card. Mental health and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment to breathe. Taking down on 20 minutes plus stoppage time in the derby. Kwale Akale's goal is still the only one of the night. It's going to be a throw-in, just past an applauding Eric Quill, who appreciates more and more effort in his pressure from the team.
He's got to be appreciating the way they've dealt with being at Widener Field in front of a hostile crowd, being 1-0 up. To be fairer than they've been 1-0 up most of the game. And so you're more likely to deal with pressure when you're ahead because the opposition are going to come at you.
Ooh, that's a challenge from Zico Bailey, and he's off! It's a second yellow card for Zico Bailey, and New Mexico United are reduced to 10 men with 20 minutes left. And the earlier yellow card that was so needless has just cost New Mexico a player.
He looks stunned, and I want to see it again just to see whether it really was worthy of a yellow. Let's have a look here. Ball gets played. Well, he comes in late. He comes in late and turns his shoulder. It wasn't the right tackle to make. Have a look here. There, he leaves a bit behind. To me, that is a yellow card. It's an unnecessary one, and when you're on a yellow, it's not the best football IQ in the world. And to your point, the first yellow was also just a bad one. Yeah, he knows it. Both yellows. I think he's going to have to do some explaining to Eric Quill as to why they were given. And we discussed it at the time that giving away a silly first yellow card just puts you in such a difficult position.
The yellow and the red card brought to you by Diverse's Health, mental health and well-being for all. And remember to take a moment to breathe. Again, it's really the first yellow that we have to return to because he just held onto the ball. It was so unnecessary. And maybe he gets away with that second challenge. And it's just a yellow card and you move on, but now it becomes a red, and he just put his side in a huge, huge bit of trouble here with 18 minutes to play. No explanation's gonna help at this point. New Mexico are down to 10, and the Switchbacks have a big, big opportunity here to rescue the result.
Yeah, absolutely the first yellow card was silly to give away. But even the second one, he's left his shoulder there. There's no question that he was leaving a little bit on the player. It's something you don't need to do, but when you're on a yellow, absolutely not. So, yeah, he'll sit down and rethink it. And even now, as he pulls his shirt over his head, he's saying, "Oh, what have I done? Really, that's ridiculous." And he'll be worried for his teammates, because if they end up drawing this, or worse, losing it, they're going to come back to this moment. They're going to look at him in the locker room and say, "Really?" So it's the first sort of blot in the copybook, so to speak, of New Mexico. They've been so good so far. Absolutely haven't put a foot wrong until that moment.
From the free kick, Speedy Williams into the mixture. Bodies flying everywhere. Enriquez battling with Gloucester to try to win the ball back. And he's already been booked as well. He has to be very, very careful. It's just going to be a foul and a free kick.
You're right, he has to be careful. He was getting stuck in there, and when you're on a yellow, leave it to somebody else to do. You have to tread carefully. And that's a minute after he's just seen the opposition get sent off. So, again, we spoke at the beginning about emotions, and when you get to derby matches and a match where you're at home against the league leaders, or you are the league leaders trying to hold on to first place, emotions can run high, and part of being a good soccer player is to manage those emotions.
10 men of New Mexico pick the ball back up. Hosu. Played back by Rivas. Maples. Scooping that ahead. Lacroix has no trouble with it and has space to run into here for the Switchbacks. Lacroix did really well. Speedy Williams now on the far side. Lacroix continued his run. Dillon looks for Lacroix in the middle. And it's just a whisker past him. Tambakis gets there.
This is where Justin Dillon is so good, winning this ball and heading it right into the danger area. And in the end, you can see Talon Maples coming in and just pushing the attacker aside there, so he couldn't get to the ball. Duke Lacroix, good defending, but that's where the value of Justin Dillon is, and they need to maybe get more balls up in the air into the big man, to the Switchbacks.
Switchbacks have 15 minutes. Try and salvage some, if not all, of the points. That whistle is going to go New Mexico's way. Abdi Muhammad and company won't be in too much of a hurry. James Chambers and his side want it to be as quick as possible. There's been times this season, James Chambers talked to us about it, where it's been close but no cigar. Good effort, but didn't get the result. He's been trying to get his team over the hump more and more often. As Damas is going to be penalized here. That's a free kick. This is another opportunity, though, for James Chambers and his side to exercise some of those demons, I should say.
Well, they had a fantastic run in the middle of the season. I think it was 9 unbeaten, and that ended at New Mexico with a very, very late penalty to lose that match. And he said then on the road after that, they conceded a late goal against Birmingham, a late goal against Louisville, and so he said we've had matches, to your point, that we should have got something from, and these late goals took that away. Now they've got to turn it around. Now they're 1-0 down. They've got to go and get the late goal. They've got to go and win these valuable points.
They did it at Highmark last time out. They were 2-1 down in stoppage time. It looked like they were dead and buried. Delence Pierre equalized with the last touch in Pittsburgh. Can they pull it out again? They have more time to work with this time as far as the 1-goal deficit is concerned. Ball is served ahead again, looking for Dylan and Damas. It doesn't get there. It's headed away. Now Hurst with the hold-up play. Rivas. Out to the far side. Flanagan is taken out. And Matt Mahoney is going to be presented with a yellow card.
Yeah, no argument with that. It's a clear yellow, just to slow down the opposition. And it suits New Mexico as well, because they can just stop the game here and bleed some time off the table. But just a very clear professional foul. You don't get the ball, you stop the player from passing you.
Another Diversus Health yellow card. It still feels like there could be a few more ebbs and flows in the derby tonight. And New Mexico have the lead, but Zico Bailey's second yellow card sees him get sent off. And New Mexico are down to 10 for the remainder. Lacroix cleans that up rather nicely for the Switchbacks. Speedy Williams. Just marauding forward. Jairo Enriquez links up with him. And not quite on the return. It's given away to Sergio Rivas. Hosu to Mohamed. It's going to be forced back. And the pass comes up short. Mahoney, he strides ahead. Enriquez from Hanya. A couple of loose touches there from Enriquez, but he keeps it going. From Matt Real. Lacroix. Bends one into the middle, the header is missed. Dylan follows up, no. There's a chance for Mahoney. Back in by Hanya. Mahoney heads it centrally. Miscommunication in the middle. The volley is skied by Aiden Rocha.
There's a shake of the head, but it's a difficult one, though, that half volley on the ground as it comes back. But good pressure, good ball into danger areas. Nice header back away from the goalkeeper. And then here, just stretching a little bit. Doesn't make the right sort of contact, but the right idea is just to get the ball in there and hope that something drops to a player in a good position. As we say, lots of defending still for New Mexico to go through before they take away the 3 points, but it's getting closer and closer now, just 10 minutes plus any added time for Tambakis and his team.
Another quick look around the scores in the West. 0-0 between Monterey Bay and El Paso. Memphis have the lead in Oakland by 1-0, and Vegas early on at home against Indy, they have the lead as well. So all of those matches matter to both of these teams, but the Switchbacks in particular trying to move their way up, as Joshua Encarnacion has some words there for Rocha. You look up at the clock and all of a sudden there's just 10 minutes plus stoppage time left.
Exactly. It's going to be a long 10 minutes though with 10 players for New Mexico, but to be fair, when they've got the ball, they've done good things with it. They've caused Switchbacks a few problems. They haven't just sat back and defended.
Williams out wide, it's speared up ahead looking for Damas. Hosu is all over the second ball. Akale, who's still the match winner at the moment. He'll give a chase to this ball, but it's going to bounce out of play.
It took a slight deflection, so no rush to get the ball from New Mexico's point of view. You've got to be careful because the referee will be looking for time wasting, so you can take a certain amount, but don't push the limits too far.
Hurst. Great hold-up play. Akale will switch the point of attack. Gloucester. It's laid off for him. He'll play it all the way back to Maples. Oh, was that handled? Yes, it was. That's a free kick. Quickly, the Switchbacks get the possession. Try to push towards a late second half equalizer. Dylan again is the target, but it bounces past him and Tambakis is there. I think the best chance the Switchbacks have had was that Rocha shot that took a double deflection that Tambakis got a boot onto and ricocheted off the crossbar. That was just before Bailey was sent off.
Yeah, it's a good save that the goalkeeper was going the opposite direction, puts a foot out, and it's not just making contact, it's making contact enough to deflect it away from the goal, and exactly what he did, just hits the crossbar. But fantastic bit of goalkeeping by Alex Tambakis.
Dylan trying to redirect it towards Damas. Touched ahead by Flanagan. Flanagan has the pace. He tries to get past Mahoney, but he's slowed down for the moment. Flanagan assessing his options. Now he'll go into the corner, and he actually loses the possession in the end.
It's important for those with the fresh legs. Flanagan, Hosu, Hurst, even Seymour at the back. Those are the ones who have to be doing the extra bit of running, the extra thinking, the extra organizing, because they're coming on with fresh legs and fresh minds. And of course, being down a player, you're going to be covering a few more gaps than you would normally have to. It
does feel like the substitutions that James Chambers made, he made that quadruple sub, haven't quite got going yet, really, since coming on. Just the one, I should say the one big chance of note. Hurst and Hosu want to keep it going for Akale. It's a 1-on-3. Akale dispossessed, and Rocha plays it and then sends it out of danger. Maybe a chance here for Dylan and company for the Switchbacks. Damas making the run. He's now offside. And then Enriquez was the late arriving player. Dylan doesn't give up on it, but Rivas passes it away. And then Mahoney lays in a challenge. Again, he's on a yellow card. Referee just gives a free kick.
Oh, Dylan did so well up front to let that ball run alongside his body. Did absolutely everything until he came to pass the ball inside, and he underhits it. And they're not going to get many chances, you wouldn't think, Switchbacks. When they come along like that, they've really got to do more with them. A little bit of injury and a good moment for New Mexico just to quieten the crowd and just reorganize themselves. Players probably going to grab a little bit to drink at this opportunity. I'm sure James Chambers will be saying, just get that ball forward, aim for the big man up front, whip the balls into the danger areas, put them under pressure. It doesn't really make any difference whether you lose 1-0 or 2-0. Right now, with 5 minutes plus added time left, you may as well just throw everything at the opposition and see if something works.
Yeah, we're starting to get towards crunch time here in the derby at Widener Field. And if New Mexico can win, they would end a 3-match losing streak at Widener Field. And they would pick up their 11th win over the Switchbacks in the regular season. They've had the dominance in the derby. That would really be solidified if they could see this out with 10 men and finish this off.
Oh, absolutely. It'd be a fantastic win every which way you look at it. Away from home in a derby match, down to 10 players, all those things you mentioned, every one of them absolutely important. It ends Colorado Springs' unbeaten home record now of 9 games, 7 wins and 2 draws. All those things are nice little ticks against the opposition, against your local derby opposition.
Well, the last change of the night Arturo Astorga. He's going to come on here for Eric Quill. He's actually going to come on for Will Seymour, a substitute who came on earlier in the second half. That's a bit of a head scratcher. I wonder if Will Seymour maybe picked up a knock. But his night is done, and Eric Quill is now out of changes for the 10 men.
We tend to think it has to be for an injury because Will Seymour's such a good defender, and you need him right now. You need the defenders, so perhaps, as you say, he's got a knock and he's a bit worried about it.
That stoppage and the substitute used up quite a bit of time. It's another William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center change. That could impact stoppage time, and from a Switchbacks point of view, it will need to, because if they can't score in the next 3 minutes, they're going to need some stoppage time to help them have enough time to get the game level. Here is Akale. Plays it up ahead. Hosu just behind Hurst. But then it's given back to New Mexico, and the shot is blocked by Mahoney. And Herrera recycles.
It's been quite a few bad turnover moments just outside that Switchbacks box. Besides the goal itself, it's been 3 or 4 other occasions at least when they've given away possession in dangerous situations just outside their goal area.
Astorga, wow, he does brilliantly well here. Glides past a couple of challenges. He goes down in the penalty area. That was Enriquez again. Had to get that right. He did. On we go. Speedy Williams up the other end. Real. Lacroix. Enriquez up ahead. Mahoney. Lacroix. Into the penalty area. That comes up short. It was chested away. Lacroix again. Looking for Dillon. Again, nothing really to do there with it. Enriquez for Mahoney. This is Hanya. Hanya trying to find space. Flanagan's in his way, and Hanya commits the foul.
Oh, Flanagan does so well just to get his body between player and ball there and win that free kick. Absolutely brilliant defending there from Flanagan.
Well, the Switchbacks are going to make another change here. I thought that was it, but they had used all 5. But here we are. Real is out. Alex Anderson is going to come on.
Don't know if we missed a head injury there, because that's the only reason you can really bring on a 6th sub as a concussion.
Could have been. Other than that, that is a peculiar moment. We're deep into the 90th minute now. Stoppage time for the Switchbacks will have to be a pretty good amount. This ball is looped ahead. Dillon, oh, it's bounced in behind for Damas. Nearly fell back for Dillon. And Akale could sense that there was a player behind him. Just gets it out for a throw-in. We have been told that there's going to be quite a bit of injury time left. Here is Williams with the ball in. Dillon for Lacroix, he goes down. Referee has a look at it and says no penalty. 8 minutes of stoppage time brought to you by the TikTok shop, and well, Pierre and Lacroix were certainly available. Here's another look at the challenge.
It's a great header, isn't it? I don't think there's enough in that challenge from Mohamed on Lacroix to give a penalty, but Justin Dillon's header is a fantastic one, right back into that danger area. And they need to do more of this Switchbacks in the last few minutes.
New Mexico, with just 10 on the pitch, remember, have done enough so far to really mitigate any big Switchbacks opportunities to this point. And to your earlier point, Gary, the concussion sub that New Mexico made earlier allowed the Switchbacks to gain and additional substitutions. So that was cleared up for us. We appreciate that. So that does make sense. Can the Switchbacks use that to help them get back on level terms? Hanya gets some space, and his cross is blocked. Tembakis is there. And now a card is going to come out for Yosuke Hanya. Maybe something that happened at the tail end of that sequence.
Hanya doing so well to turn his player, and there he's being held a little bit, but not too much. And then was there a stamp or something? Did he kick? Because he's pointing at him. Maybe he just kicked him on the ground. Didn't see it. Well done the referee for spotting it, whatever it was. But Oscar Hanya doing so well there just to try and get the ball across and just create a moment. Just needs one little moment from Switchbacks to get back on level terms.
It's a Diverses Health yellow card. The referee has stopped the play here as Tembakis cleared it. And it's because New Mexico are going to use their concussion substitute here. So New Mexico will retake that, I think. Unless something else happened, because the referee actually is not going to allow the sub to take place yet. So something else happened, and Tembakis is forced to retake it. That does actually hinder the Switchbacks a little bit. A few extra seconds ticked off the clock there. Now the sub will come on. And the potential match winner, Miquele Akale, he's going to come out. And Nicky Hernandez will take his place.
I'm just wondering how the coach will feel here, Eric Quill, about his team, because this is the sort of performance that gets you wins in the playoffs, when you're gritty, when you can take a lead and hold on to it, when you can battle with 10 players. You never know what the playoffs are going to throw at you, but if they keep playing like this, New Mexico United is going to take one hell of a team to beat them, especially if they have the home ground advantage, which they should have if they finish top.
Hanya! It's Justin Dillon! Tembakis saves, and the rebound is skewered over the top by Anderson. Again, Alex Tembakis saves United.
Well, this was Justin Dillon's moment. He hits the ball into the ground. It just takes the pace of it, but nonetheless, still a very good save from Tembakis. Hits it into the ground. Goalkeeper pushes it out and is skied over from there. So no question, if you look at the chances they've had, the Switchbacks will feel they should have at least got one goal. But the goalkeeper in green is the man that stopped them so far, Alex Tembakis.
Came into the night top 10 in the USL Championship with 57 saves. He's had to make a couple of huge ones tonight. Damas into the middle. It's cleared away by Maples. Greg Hurst keeps the ball in play for New Mexico. Can use up some time. Down to the final 3 minutes here of stoppage time. There might be a little bit more added on because of the substitutions. But Hurst does well again, gets it away from Williams. Again, a reminder, New Mexico been down to 10 now for just over 20 minutes. Tembakis ahead. First time ball back up ahead. Dillon lets it go for Anderson. Maples takes it off him. Overhead kick allows the Switchbacks to build again. Getting towards the dying embers here. Can the Switchbacks hit back in stoppage time? Pierre, the stoppage time hero last time out. Hanya can't find space for the cross, but it'll be a throw-in for Colorado Springs.
Such good defending from New Mexico. Everyone doing their part, winning their personal battles, and when they do get the ball, they've controlled it really well and taken it in to Switchbacks half. Just a few more minutes left.
Pierre, it's headed away not once but twice. Mahoney refreshes the possession. Pierre again. Into the middle, Hanya fights for it. Gloucester comes out with it. And anywhere will do right now for New Mexico. 2 minutes left. Herrera. Mahoney back into the penalty area. And Dylan commits a foul on Maples, trying to get his head onto it. And that'll take some more time off the clock.
Well, Dylan not happy, but it's two big guys, a big center forward, big center back, pushing and shoving, and in the end, center back wins the duel, according to the referee. He is a hard player to handle, Justin Dillon.
Whistle goes.
Oh, he's holding on to the ball. Yellow card. There you go.
Yellow card for Hurst, yeah. Yellow card for Greg Hurst for time wasting.
He's probably not too bothered with a minute left, but you're going to get a yellow card for that every time, I would think.
Another Diversus Health yellow card. Final seconds here. Could be a little bit more time added on. We will see. Herrera up ahead, Hurst clears. And Hosu, poked away by Hurst, poked towards Herrera, I should say, from Hurst. We're getting down towards last chance saloon time here at Widener Field. Enriquez just keeps it in play. Beats the first man, but won't get it past Hosu. New Mexico deep into the corner. It's another poor challenge from Enriquez. It's a New Mexico free kick in front of their road supporters, and there might not be much time left.
Hosu doing so well there, just to sort of tempt Enriquez into making a bit of a nibble and then going down, knowing he would get the free kick under those circumstances, and that's it. Timbacas is saying it's all over, and
it is all over. 10-man New Mexico wins it. How about that? Derby Day delight at Widener Field. And it's Somos Unidos who celebrate a 1-0 victory. Mukwele Akale is your match winner. And New Mexico now have a stranglehold at the top of the Western Conference in the USL Championship. They go 9 points clear at the top in search of their first ever home playoff game. It's a huge missed opportunity for the Switchbacks, who had a man advantage for almost 30 minutes at the end of the game. But New Mexico survives a tough road derby test.
Probably the most grateful person on that pitch is Zico Bailey, if he's on the pitch. I don't know if he's allowed back on yet, but he would have been watching from the sidelines, desperate that his team hang on after he got his red card, and they did. Brilliant performance from the leaders in the West. Tough for Colorado Springs. They had a few chances. It could have been close in terms of taking it, but it didn't work out for them.
Groom Transportation provides you with the man of the match. The Switchbacks defense kept them in the game. Matt Mahoney, the captain, helped to lead that charge. In the end, though, it was the offense that didn't bring enough for the Switchbacks, despite all the changes that James Chambers made in the second half.
It was, and that, along with Timbacas making a few important saves, crucial one. The one with his foot, probably the best one for me, because that was really difficult to pull off. He came and took some crosses as well, the big goalkeeper. His defenders in front of him were rock solid. And then their high press early on is what got them the goal. And Akale just pouncing on that poor back pass, and they got ahead. And then from then onwards, they defended so well. Credit, absolute big credit to New Mexico United.
Never a dull moment in the USL Championship. Another showstopper of a game tonight. But the 10 men of New Mexico are your Derby Day winners. And we'll take a break and wrap it all up next.
Natural gas ensures that when you need to heat things up, you can, but it can also be hazardous. That's why, in the event of a natural gas leak, you need to know the 3 S's. The first one, sound. Listen for the sound of hissing or whistling. Number 2, sight. Look for dead or discolored vegetation in an otherwise green area. And number 3, smell. It's hard to miss. Be on the lookout for a pungent odor like rotten eggs. If you notice any of these signs, leave the area immediately and call 911. For more information, go to csu.org.
The moment you call McDevitt, an action plan is put into place right away to get you the help you need.
Each case and each client is different, with different needs and solutions. Your attorney and team immediately investigates every aspect of your crash and injuries.
We track down all the paperwork and deal directly with the insurance company for you.
We keep you in the loop every step of the way, fighting to get you max money for your injuries.
And you never pay us a dime until we get money for you.
McDivitt.
Colorado Springs Utilities serves electric, gas, water, and wastewater. If you combine all 4 services, you're paying around 11% less than anybody else on the Front Range. Water is the only one of our 4 services where you pay more. Since we have no river systems of our own, more than 70% of our water comes from Colorado's West Slope. Colorado Springs Utilities has delivered all 4 of these services safely, reliably, and at the best value to you for the last 100 years, and we will continue to do that long into the future.
Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey back here with you at full time at Widener Field. Still fireworks after a tough game, but it's a game that New Mexico fans will be very, very happy with. The 10 men of United come out with a 1-0 victory. Full-time highlights between 2 really fierce rivals in the Western Conference, and well, we begin really with the good pressure. Again, the highlights are presented by McDivitt and the giveaway that leads to the Akale opener.
Yeah, it's a pass from Matt Mahoney to Christian Herrera that doesn't reach the goalkeeper, but I think the focus there is on Akale. He was ready to pounce on this from the beginning. He just waited for this to come in, gets ahead of the keeper here, and then from quite a tight angle, by the way, just slips that into the back of the net.
61st minute, Switchbacks now trying to find the equalizer. This was the wild Tambakis save.
Oh, brilliant, with his right foot just sticking it out there and gets it off the crossbar. That's a fantastic save. Immediately his defenders turn and appreciate it. Rocha putting the shot on target, but the deflection is what caused the goalkeeper all the problems.
And the critical moment of the match, brought to you by Common Spirit Health. This was the 2nd yellow on Zico Bailey for the challenge on Jairo Enriquez. He was sent off.
Yeah, it is a yellow. He's turned his shoulder into him, then slightly lifted his elbow. It was a silly first yellow for holding on to the ball. That was a really crazy yellow, but definitely a second. And he's so lucky that his team went on to win this match. Otherwise, they would have had words with him in the locker room.
This was one of the last big chances for the Switchbacks.
Justin Dillon hits that shot into the ground, but still a good saving reaction from Tambakis, and then the ball just ballooned over from Alex Anderson. But good strike there, Justin Dillon, who made a big difference when he came on, and another excellent save from the man in green for New Mexico United.
Groom transportation, full-time match stats. Again, not a lot to separate the 2 sides. It just felt like New Mexico had the fight down the stretch, which is 10 on the pitch, to finish the job.
They did, and bear in mind that they went 1-0 up very early in the game, so you're more likely to have more shots on target from the Switchbacks as they chased, and yet they didn't. Still, New Mexico had more chances. They were very quick on the counter-attack. Greg Hurst's second half could have wrapped it up a few occasions, so given they went 1-0 up early on, those stats are a lot better than they probably look. Well done to New Mexico United. That really is a fantastic 3 points on the road at their local rivals in a very, very difficult place to go to, Widener Field.
New Mexico now have a franchise record extending 15th win of the season. And again, they're on 48 points at the top of the Western Conference table. Mukwele Akale is the match winner, and New Mexico continue to have a stranglehold at the top of the USL Championship's Western Conference. Another thriller among many throughout this entire wild season in the USL Championship. For Gary Bailey and our entire crew, Sean St. Jacques saying so long from Colorado Springs. New Mexico United rule the day on Derby Day.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.